The $0 tax stamp shockwave. For nearly a century, the National Firearms Act of 1934 acted as a massive iron gate, keeping silence out of the hands of the average American shooter. That $200 tax stamp, which cost as much as a brand new car back in the 30s, stayed frozen in time while the world changed around it. But on January 1, 2026, the gate didn't just open, it was torn off its hinges when the federal government officially slashed that tax to $0. Think about the sheer scale of this shift in the American firearms landscape. We went from paying a permission fee that doubled the price of a budget suppressor to getting that green light for free. It is like the government finally admitted that protecting your hearing should not be a taxable luxury reserved for the wealthy. This move instantly unlocked a suppressed market of 80 million gun owners who had been sitting on the sidelines for decades. The psychological barrier vanished overnight, transforming the suppressor from a scary NFA item into just another muzzle device, like a flash hider. Industry analysts saw a 400% spike in demand within the first week of January 2026 alone. This was the shot heard round the world for the Second Amendment community, signaling a new era where the sound of freedom is actually much, much quieter. The 48-hour digital revolution. Forget the days of dusty filing cabinets and the agonizing silence of a government black hole. For decades, your Form 4 application was essentially a message in a bottle, tossed into a sea of paperwork at the ATF processing center while months turned into years. By 2026, that entire archaic architecture has been demolished and replaced by an integrated AI-driven background check system that cross-references federal databases in real time. This digital overhaul has shattered the 300-day waiting period of the past, delivering official approval stamps in a staggering 48-hour window. When you submit your e-form today, the verification happens through secure biometric links and instantaneous clearinghouses, while your excitement is still at its peak. You no longer buy a suppressor for your future self to enjoy a year later. You buy it for the weekend. This 2026 processing speed has fundamentally transformed the market into an on-demand industry, where the acquisition process finally keeps pace with modern logistics. It is a massive win for the Second Amendment, proving that technology can finally eliminate the bureaucratic purgatory that once defined suppressor ownership in America. The new age of high-performance budget. The disappearance of the tax stamp has ignited a fierce race to the bottom among manufacturers, but in the best way possible for the American consumer. With the financial friction removed, major players are now leveraging aerospace-grade aluminum and 17-4 stainless steel to create incredibly durable suppressors at price points we never thought possible. You are now seeing budget cans hitting the shelves for a mere $250, making it cheaper to suppress your rifle than to buy a high-end optic. These aren't flimsy tubes. They are rugged workhorses designed to survive thousands of rounds of 5.56mm or 9mm fire without breaking a sweat even under heavy-duty cycles at the range. Manufacturers have essentially perfected lean manufacturing and automated precision to the point where cost no longer dictates quality in any meaningful way for the end user. Thanks to the hyper-optimization of robotic assembly lines and mass-scale material sourcing, these modern budget suppressors deliver decibel reduction and flash mitigation that actually match or exceed the $1,000 flagship models from 10 years ago. It is a classic case of technological trickle-down, where the cutting-edge secrets of the past have become the standard features of the present. Today, affordability no longer means sacrificing your hearing or the reliability of your firearm, ensuring every American shooter has affordable access to silence and safety. 3D metal printing and the flow-through frontier. If you were to cut open a traditional suppressor from a decade ago, you would find a simple stack of baffles designed to trap gas like a series of rooms. But the 2026 market has moved toward a much more sophisticated solution: laser powder bed fusion, or 3D metal printing. This technology allows engineers to grow complex organic internal geometries that were physically impossible to machine on a lathe or a CNC mill. We are talking about intricate, spiral-shaped vents and internal micro-lattices that guide high-pressure gases through a labyrinth, cooling them instantly before they exit the muzzle. This additive manufacturing process creates a monolithic structure with no weak points or weld seams to fail under the extreme pressure of modern high-velocity cartridges. This fundamental shift in manufacturing solves the biggest headache in suppressed shooting history, the dreaded back pressure. In a standard sealed can, the gas has nowhere to go but back into the action, hitting the shooter in the face with carbon and stinging smoke. The new flow-through designs use 3D printed channels to accelerate gas forward and away from the shooter's eyes, maintaining the rifle's natural cyclic rate without the need for heavier buffer springs. By mathematically tuning these internal pathways, engineers have achieved the holy grail of ballistics, a suppressor that provides maximum sound suppression while reducing gas blowback and bolt speed increases to a literal 0%. This means your rifle runs cleaner, stays cooler, and feels exactly like it's shooting unsuppressed, minus the deafening roar that destroys your ears. It is a masterpiece of fluid dynamics, turning what used to be a gas trap into a high-speed exhaust system that preserves the longevity of your firearm's internal components for tens of thousands of rounds. The revolution of ultralight materials. Pick up a steel suppressor from 10 years ago and you'll immediately feel the nose-heavy drag that ruins the balance of a perfectly good rifle. In 2026, we've moved past the era of heavy metal, embracing titanium grade 5 and heat-stabilized polymers to redefine what it means to carry a silenced weapon. We are now seeing full-sized cans that weigh a mere 6 ounces, yet possess the structural integrity to survive the white-hot intensity of sustained full auto fire. This isn't just about saving your muscles during a long hike. It's about preserving the fundamental physics of your firearm under stress. A heavy weight at the end of your muzzle acts like a pendulum, creating a barrel whip that can shift your point of impact by several inches. By cutting the weight by over 60%, these space-age materials allow your barrel to vibrate naturally, keeping your shot groups tight and consistent at a 100-yard distance. This level of precision is a total game-changer for hunters and long-range competitors who demand a repeatable zero every single time they pull the trigger. Moving through dense brush or transitionally clearing a room feels effortless when the front of your gun no longer handles like a lead pipe. It is the peak of aerospace engineering meeting ballistic necessity, proving that in 2026, less weight equals pure performance. Modular multi-configuration engineering. Why should you have to choose between a compact K-can for maneuverability and a full-sized suppressor for maximum silence? In 2026, that compromise is officially dead thanks to the rise of modular baffle technology. Modern engineering now allows you to customize the physical length of your suppressor in seconds, using standardized segments that screw together with hand-tight precision. You can run a full 9-inch setup for a quiet afternoon of precision shooting, then quickly strip it down to a 5-inch shorty configuration for home defense or vehicle operations. This isn't just a gimmick, it is the ultimate expression of economic and tactical common sense for the American shooter. You effectively own multiple suppressors for the price of one, allowing you to tailor the back pressure and sound signature to your specific rifle and ammunition. The real technical breakthrough here is the rock-solid alignment of these segments, ensuring that even in the shortest configuration, your bore clearance remains perfect with zero risk of a baffle strike. It transforms the suppressor from a static accessory into a dynamic, mission-configurable component of your entire weapon system. Whether you are in a cramped indoor setting or an open field, modularity ensures you never have more can than you actually need. The multi-caliber versatility standard. In the past, building a suppressed collection often meant buying a dedicated device for every single caliber in your safe, which was both expensive and redundant. The 2026 market has solved this through the widespread adoption of multi-caliber suppressors featuring interchangeable end caps and reinforced blast chambers. These robust units are engineered to handle the massive pressure spikes of a .300 Winchester Magnum, while still maintaining incredible efficiency on smaller rounds, like the 9mm. By simply swapping a $5 end cap, you can optimize the internal aperture to prevent gas blow-by and keep the sound signature at hearing-safe levels across dozens of platforms. This technological leap marks a profound evolution in how enthusiasts view their equipment, shifting the focus from individual units to a unified suppression system. It is no longer about the gear you have for one specific rifle, but about a single, high-quality investment that services your entire tactical library. This shift from buying one suppressor per gun to owning one master suppressor for the entire collection has fundamentally democratized the industry, allowing newcomers to achieve professional-grade results with a single purchase. You can spend your morning shooting a precision bolt-action rifle and your afternoon running drills with a submachine gun using the exact same suppressor. This versatility is supported by advanced metallurgy that prevents bore erosion even when switching between wildly different pressure curves. In 2026, the multi-caliber do-it-all has become the cornerstone of the modern American armory. The suppressor-ready production standard. For decades, getting a suppressor onto your favorite handgun or rifle felt like an aftermarket chore, often requiring a trip to a specialized gunsmith for barrel threading. But the American firearms industry has undergone a massive structural shift, with giants like Colt, Sig Sauer, and Glock now treating suppressed fire as the primary operating condition. In 2026, finding a new firearm without a threaded barrel is actually becoming a challenge, as manufacturers have standardized the 1/2x28 and 5/8x24 thread pitches across nearly every tactical and hunting platform. This integration isn't just skin deep. It includes internal gas port tuning and heavier recoil springs installed right at the factory. This fundamental change in production has sent a massive ripple through the secondary market, where traditional iron sights are being replaced by suppressor height sights and specialized optics mounts as the new baseline. No longer do shooters have to struggle with aiming through the can or dealing with obscured sight pictures. Every accessory, from high-profile night sights to dedicated gas-busting charging handles, is now designed to work in harmony with a muffled muzzle. It has created an ecosystem where the suppressor is no longer an add-on, but the central axis around which the entire firearm is built. By making these features standard, the industry has effectively removed the last technical barrier between the average owner and a silenced shooting experience. Redefining suppressors as hearing protection. Beyond the mechanical evolution lies a profound cultural shift in how Americans view the very nature of a suppressor. For too long, Hollywood tropes painted these devices as tools for shadows, but the 2026 reality is rooted in human health and auditory safety. Medical data has become the primary driver of this movement, with studies proving that any noise impulse over 140 decibel causes immediate and irreversible hearing damage. When a standard unsuppressed rifle can bark at 165 decibel, the suppressor acts as the only effective muffler that can bring those levels down to a range that won't destroy your inner ear. The most significant victory of the last few years has been how the American shooting community successfully shifted public perception, rebranding the suppressor from a regulated weapon into a mandatory piece of safety equipment. This advocacy has transformed the hush tube into a common-sense tool for labor protection at shooting ranges and during hunting expeditions. It is now widely accepted that shooting with a suppressor is a courtesy to neighbors and a responsibility to your own long-term health. By framing the conversation around decibel mitigation and medical necessity, the stigma of the past has been replaced by a culture of safety. In 2026, choosing not to use a suppressor is increasingly seen as being as reckless as choosing not to wear a seatbelt while driving. The perfect shot and the integrated future. When you squeeze the trigger on a suppressed platform in 2026, you aren't just shooting. You're experiencing the ultimate evolution of the firearm. It is a holistic transformation where the concussive blast is replaced by a surgical thud, the recoil is cut nearly in half, and muzzle flash is deleted from the equation entirely. Shooting a modern suppressed rifle feels less like handling a loud explosive and more like operating a high-performance luxury electric vehicle, refined, clean, and incredibly precise. This lack of sensory chaos allows you to stay focused on your target, resulting in faster split times and surgical accuracy that was once reserved for elite operators. T26 Horizon shows us that the add-on suppressor is just a transitional phase. The future belongs to integrally suppressed weapons, where the barrel and the silencer are no longer two separate parts, but a single, inseparable monolithic masterpiece of engineering. This evolution eliminates the need for mounts or threads, creating a perfectly balanced weapon that provides maximum sound suppression in the shortest possible package. We are rapidly approaching a day when a loud gun will be viewed as an unfinished, obsolete tool. In 2026, we aren't just making gun quieter. we are witnessing a permanent shift where silence is the baseline for all professional firearms design.